out who the person is sitting next to her, if that's her counsel or if is that Thomas Allen, because he is going to be my witness and he's brought himself before the court. I'd like him to be sequestered.
Sir, who are you?
My name is Thomas Allen.
So are you the subsequent petitioner or?
I did file a stalking order based on Detective Don Lundeen telling me to do so.
Okay, so that's a separate hearing, I assume, right?
We were told to come in together.
We were told to come in together because my stalking order, when I filed it, they had told me when they came back, they approved hers, but they had told me that mine was neither accepted nor denied, that there needed to be more evidence and you needed to hear from both me and Mr.
And also
Parisi.
my,
And that supposedly you had to hear more from me and Mr. Parisi, and yeah, so that's why mine never got accepted.
So your petition is subject to a subsequent hearing after the hearing we're going to have here with Ms. Polizia. Do you have any personal knowledge that you want to present to the court on Ms. Polizia's behalf?
That's Miss Police.
I'm sorry.
Scott, Caitlin Scott.
Ms. Scott, are you going to provide any information to the court with respect to Ms. Scott's petition?
I mean, that's mine, but also it's because Thomas Allen is in my household, and my stalking order has to do with him not abusing anyone in my household, which is Thomas Allen.
Or her family.
Your Honor, basically, he's not a lawyer. He's not approved by the court to be where he's sitting, and he's going to be called by either of us. I wish him to be sequestered. He has already made his willingness that he would be for the plaintiff, but I feel
Who's
that
being sequestered from?
if they're conversing while we're doing this hearing, I'm afraid that she is going to be getting legal advice from him, which she's not supposed to be able to give. I have never seen a petitioner in another stalking case being seated at another petitioner's stalking case.
Oh, yeah, he can sit in the gallery.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But sitting at that table, he would have to either be a lawyer or, monogamic violence prevention. I don't see this to be a fair hearing if he's sitting there. Not that it's the courts, but I don't believe that he should be seated with us. He should be in the gallery.
Well, okay, so you don't want to do this in one hearing with respect to both of them?
I can do both of them today.
Stalking order has to do with my
Well,
household, and he's in my household.
Me and Miss Scott, when we found out we were doing this together, Your Honor, we knew that, we know, and I know legal stuff regardless of what people think, okay? I'm not stupid, as Mr. Parisi obviously thinks.
Objection, I haven't
That's
said
my
that.
opinion, but
This is what I'm going to do. Ms. Scott, you're going to go first. You're going to stand up. You're going to tell me your story. You, sir, are going to stand up, and then you're going to tell me your story. And then I'm going to ask Mr. Parisi to respond to both of your stories.
all right.
And correctly, right now, I'm looking for the file. I don't know where it is. Okay, so, Ms. Scott, why don't you tell me what this is all about?
So, I have made a stalking order on Mr. Parisi, because he has made videos on October 7th, October 15th, and November 1st about my fiance, Thomas Allen, being a registered sex offender, which New Hampshire reclassified his charge from a sexual assault to a felonious sexual assault. And I do not find it fair to ruin his reputation in the community when he is not reoffended in 15 years after being out. He was convicted 22 years ago, and he is rehabilitated and has not reoffended in 15 years of being out. And I have gotten death threats telling me to go kill myself, along with death threats to him. And we feel that we are not safe going out into our chosen community.
So these videos, are they videos of you?
Of our residents.
Your Honor, matter of procedure.
Mention in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Other than these videos, have you had any contact with Mr. Parisi?
I have not.
Have you asked any command that Mr. Parisi not come near your house that's been issued by
That
either
was
you or by the
before
police? I'm sorry,
that-
let me finish my question, please. So has anybody informed Mr. Parisi that he's not licensed or entitled or privileged to approach your residence?
Yes, in the stalking order, it was told to him.
So with respect to the temporary relief you got here, that's the case? Is that what you're saying? When you came for a temporary order, that,
Yes, that's in the order for him to.
but before that, did
Beforehand-
anybody order him not to approach your residence?
Beforehand, I did send him a message and he had blocked me.
You sent him a message, how?
Before the stalking order was put in place, I messaged him on Facebook and I requested him to remove the videos. I don't think I actually asked him to not stay away, but that is also part of the stalking order, is that he has to be 300 feet away from my residence, my fiance, myself, and my family.
Has Mr. Parisi ever threatened you, or your?
Not
your
personally,
fiancé?
but because of the videos, other people in the community have made threats to both of us.
Okay. Is there anything else you want me to know?
Just that, we feel endangered and, there's
Because
really no.
you feel endangered because of the content of the videos that Mr. Parisi is putting out there?
Yes.
But again, just to
But we've
reiterate,
gotten threats in the community that I should.
they're
go
not
forward
threats from Mr. Parisi, threats from members of the community.
Yes, because of the videos.
Right, and during these videos, no threats were issued, no physical threats were issued to you?
Not to me, but to him in the videos, Parisi stated that he's coming after the sex offenders, and I find that to be a threat. Because me being a disabled individual, I rely on Thomas Allen as my caregiver.
And what do you take coming after, that phrase, coming after, to mean? What do you take that to mean?
I don't know, harming him, killing him, whichever. Having other people come after him, I don't know. But him saying I'm coming after the sex offenders is a threat. And I find that to be criminal threatening.
And how many times, in your estimation, has he uttered those words about you or your household member?
He's made several videos.
What's several mean?
I don't know a number, but he made several videos about the offenders down at 100 Nights. There's several offenders in KEENE, and so he has stated in at least 3 videos of Thomas Allen that he is going after the sex offenders.
So those would be the videos that you referenced earlier that were
Yes.
occurred in October, November?
Yes, October 7th, the 15th, and November 1st. That we would like to be removed from the internet altogether.
Well, I don't have the authority to order anybody to do that. The only thing I can do is order him not to have any contact with you and not to threaten you, not to be anywhere near your residence. I can't tell him to take something down from the internet. I don't have that authority. I'm sorry.
But it's already ruined our reputation.
Well, if you want,
But that does not mean we are child rapists.
has he called you a child rapist?
On a video, yes, he has, on videos, he has called all of us sex offenders child rapists.
No, I want to know if he should use that term with respect to solely you.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, do they have the videos? Have they presented any of that evidence?
I haven't seen any videos.
Well, like I said,
Like I said, I have the titles and the dates of the videos.
It has to be submitted.
But I can't see them, I mean, unless you have them on your phone. I'm assuming Mr. Parisi knows what the content of his own videos.
Yeah,
So I don't think there's a
naturally.
problem with it, you showing me what you want me to see.
Show them the November 1st one.
I'm working on it.
I'd like to note for the record that Mr. Thomas Allen is using his Facebook, which he's not supposed to be using.
Wrong.
in order
Hold
to
on.
fund this.
Correction.
Excuse
That
me,
was,
Your
that was an
Honor.
official.
You don't talk
Yeah,
to them,
that's fine.
talk to the judge.
Sorry.
Only.
Yes, sir.
So
It's your only
before,
warning. Yes.
apparently it's not gonna let me, my data's not working in here, but, as far as what Mr. Parisi had just said, if I may present, this is my registration form. For
Sure,
the
I'll take a look
registry.
at it.
He does
It
not.
doesn't say anywhere in there that I cannot use social media.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Therefore, it doesn't say in there that I cannot use social
But yeah,
media.
that's neither here nor there for me. I mean, that doesn't.
But yeah, like I said, my data's not working, so I.
Okay.
can't,
So let me ask you some specific questions, sir. Has Mr. Parisi threatened you personally?
No, but just fact that he keeps walking by my place of work.
Right, does he say anything to you when at that time?
He looks over and I get dirty looks. And he also, Your Honor, like I said, also, I can't prove whether it was him or not, because there are other people out there that wear masks like he does. But I think it was last week or the week before that, I had saw somebody, like I said, I can't say if it was him or not, but around 5:30 in the morning, I had seen somebody on the other side of the street from me. I was on the side where the Colonial Theater is, and I had seen somebody that fit Mr. Parisi's, stature and everything, but I can't prove that it was him.
Right.
So I'm not gonna bother to, but they followed me to, whoever it was followed me down to Cumberland Farms. I can't say that it was him. I'm not saying it was him.
But this is somebody that was across the street on a
Yeah.
public way
Yeah,
and didn't say anything to you, just followed you for a period of time?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like
Your
I
Honor,
said, I can't say that it was him or not.
Yeah, I
So
got
I'm not saying that it was him. I'm just saying that it was, someone that fit his bill,
you. Yep.
because it was dark, whatever.
Right.
But
Has Mr. Parisi ever appeared at your home, your residence?
he has appeared in front of my home and has done a video in front of my home, and on 2 occasions. One of them, and it was due to because of Halloween. The first one he had said that he was standing across the road from my house, and in the video he stated, "Here we are at 23 West Street, the residence of Thomas Allen, convicted sex offender." And that was in one of the videos, and then that's when the death threats started.
And that would be what date was that?
That would have been,
I believe that was the 15th, and on November 1st, after the
and
stalking.
and then he did another video.
What's the date of that video?
The
November 1st?
The
November
7th.
7th, November 15th, and November 1st.
Your Honor, I'd like to object to these 2 people that have separate petitions in assisting each
I'm
other.
trying to keep
That's all right.
her from.
It's,
I'm
the
I'm
information's
sorry.
gonna come in one way or another.
Certainly, certainly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr.
So I
Parisi.
just want to know what the date when he appeared for the second time near your residence, what date was that
The
approximately?
15th.
Okay.
And in that one, he
And was he
said,
across the street on that occasion as well?
yes, he was standing on the corner of Federal and West Street, and in that video, he says, "Here we are again at 23 West Street, the home of convicted sex offender Thomas Allen." And then after he said that and filmed the building, he turned his camera down Federal Street and says, "Oh, and look at what we have here." And he pointed to 100 Nights, and with his camera. And
I'm sorry, he pointed to 100 Nights?
Yes.
What's that?
The 100 Night Shelter.
Okay.
So after he had said that in that second video, he turned his camera and said, "Looky, looky, what we have down here."
And so what is that referencing, other than the fact that he's pointing out that that's where a homeless shelter is?
Because there's 4 registered sex offenders that live there, Your Honor. And he has made several videos about that, but that's a different case.
Yeah, I think I heard it last week.
Yeah, so basically because of the 2 videos he has posted of my residence, like I said, after the first one, I started getting death threats. When I left my house to go walk downtown, when I go to grocery stores or any stores, like I'm afraid to go into businesses because I'm afraid that somebody's gonna walk in there and say, I ought to beat your ass, pardon my language.
Right,
Just
none of these
because of
threats-
those
none of these
videos.
threats are coming from Mr. Parisi.
No.
Okay. Ms. Scott,
Also, the video on November 1st
can you
from
stand
his,
up, please?
November 1st, the video that he made from his home after the stalking order was in place, when he was asked not to use our names at all. He whispered the name of Thomas Allen in his video and said, "Please don't tell him." I do watch the videos.
This is after you got your temporary order?
Yes.
Yes. And the video was made, the video was made, at his apartment, like Ms. Scott said, and it stated, because it was referencing to today's case. And through the whole time he was doing videos about coming to court today to do this, he was referring to me as James Doe until that last video he did, where he said that he referenced me as James Doe, but then leaned into the camera and said my name. And this, mind you, like Ms. Scott said, was after the stalking order was put on.
And that is why Officer Goodchild told me to try and get an amendment to the order, and which is why I would file the contempt of court of a stalking order.
And like I said, I was told by Detective Don Lundeen to file a stalking order. And if you need to confirm that, you can probably give him a phone call because you probably got his number.
Well, I don't see anything in Judge Frost's order that prohibits Mr. Parisi from stating your name or videotaping any information about you.
In the stalking order on, I believe, number 3, it says no third party with social media. And
Defendant shall not have any contact with the plaintiff, whether in person or through third persons, including but limited to contact by telephone, letters, fax, texting, social media, email, blah, 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 unless specifically authorized by the court.
Well,
So
he's not
was
the
he
only-
was he FaceTiming you or emailing you or any of that?
no, but he's not the only one that runs the jail paper either.
Also, Your Honor, he has stated with the stalking order, okay, when he said that his season of the jail paper was ending, he said he would be, and this was after the stalking order was put in place, he said that he would be posting this on third-party social media sites. He has a TikTok, he has an Instagram, and he has and he also has a Snapchat.
Which are not under the jail paper, they're under Paris, Miami Productions.
Yeah.
Again.
And he
but
has stated
did
several
he-
times he was going to do that third party.
Did he attempt to contact you with these videos or by way of Snapchat or some other social
No.
media outlet?
Not me personally, but
Okay. All right, so I'm going to hear from Mr. Parisi now. Is that okay?
yep.
Mr. Parisi?
Certainly, sir. Okay, so I don't even need to go through most of the stuff we talked about in the Conlon versus Thomas Parisi. I don't have the case with me, but I presume you read, the Implode Mortgage Solicitors versus Implode Expo. So basically, what these two young people have been talking about for the last 15 minutes is recognition. Obviously, I'll address Ms. Scott first and then Mr. Thomas respectively. Ms. Scott has said that she's experiencing emotional duress. She had given her side as to what she believes the facts of the case to her best of her knowledge of Mr. Thomas Allen. She has admitted Mr. Thomas Allen is a registered sex offender. My jail paper specifically goes to do stories pertaining specifically to sex offenders. The two videos which I'd like to present to the court, I have a video running, but I'm going to stop it. If I can give it to the bailiff, I'd like to show you the two videos, both of the ones that they had mentioned. One is in front of not their actual residence, but across the street. And then that's the first one they're citing. I believe that to be the November 15th. The second one, where they mentioned 100 Nights on the corner of Federal and West, I believe that to be like 3 or 4 days later. So if I could present to the
Any
court.
objection to me seeing this? I assume you want me to see him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be 1 second, Bill. While I'm waiting for this to load up, essentially what I'm doing at this point, as Your Honor knows, because he's dealt with a case like this before and it's still pending, is that these are nothing more than news reports and the exercise of my first right in their own words is what I'm doing. They have not, Ms. Scott specifically first, has not contacted or ever seen me. She lists me as an acquaintance. I can tell you when she comes back to do her rebuttal, she has never met me a day in her life. So she has also put that I have delusional, psychotic, not on medication, things that she has nothing to say or know about because we have never met. She
Have you
sent,
ever had any contact with her?
never met her. I've never seen her before she
By
actually stepped
email,
in.
telephone?
The one thing she had contacted me directly, her first thing that she said, is that she did not want this to be public. Her email that she had sent me was never publicized. I had never mentioned her name. I had gone out of my way because I see her as a victim. And she claims that I went to her residence. And this video, once I find it, this video was filmed across the street. I have not gone past her residence. I did find it. It's this little guy right there. Maybe he'll just hit it at the start. Right now, Your Honor, I'm presenting the first of 2 videos. I had only made 2 videos specifically regarding them. The top one that says their address, the tour of trepidation.
Can I go tap it now?
Yes, sir.
I'm Thomas Parisi here in front of 23 West Street in downtown Keene. Here we have the residence of Thomas Allen Jr. Thomas Allen Jr. was convicted of felonious sexual assault on a victim under 16. This will be a place that you don't want to have your trick-or-treating list. I'm Thomas Parisi for the joke.
So that's one of them. And now the second one, Your Honor, I can find, but it's basically a Facebook Live video. The description of it is I stand on the corner of Federal and West Street and literally point out his address and their address, and I direct parents, concerned citizens, and fans of mine, don't let your children go there trick-or-treating. The tour of trepidation was a very simple platform.
Sorry, can you
Oh yeah,
can you
just,
stop that one?
I'm sorry, it gets annoying, yes. Okay, so last thing, let me just put the other video on so that they can have their fair presentation of what they consider their own personal trepidation. Let me see. And I'll continue while I'm waiting. The long and the short of it, there's no threats, there's been no violations of orders. Basically, I have had 5 people living in my house, or 4 people living in my house, since her petition to prove I'm not going anywhere. They have shut down my ability to go outside and film and do all this lovely stuff they claim that I do with my First Amendment right. But they're deliberately doing this for one reason and one reason alone, which is to silence me from saying anything else about Thomas Allen, which the court knows and the court's displayed through what the court said is not within their abilities to do. It's through a different venue. Now, Mr. Thomas Allen, the reason why I say in the video he's a child rapist, in my consideration, a child that's 15 years or younger is a child. The other one, sir, I'm not seeing it immediately, but I'm trying to find it. But you can imagine there's no threat. You could, obviously review it on their own time. If they haven't submitted, it won't be considered as evidence. But the video that I did make literally was me pointing out these 2 houses, as I say. At no point was there a mention of, go over and beat up Thomas Allen, go over and torture Caitlin Scott, or as Mrs. Caitlin Scott says, who works at a suicide prevention place, I at no point told people to go up to tell her to kill herself. I consider her a victim. I'm very sorry that she's even had to present herself in the courtroom, but under no circumstance dealing with Ms. Scott did I ever want contact. And when I blocked her because I was ceasing all things. I don't communicate with these people. I do stories and I move on. They seem to dwell on it. So in dealing with Ms. Scott, and I'm finishing now, Ms. Scott has no reason besides basic wanting me to be punished, in essence, to file this petition. As she stated to you, you've been on the bench for a while. I don't need to reiterate what they've said it to you, and I believe her that this is meritless and should be dismissed. And that's what I have to say for Ms. Scott. Moving on to Mr. Allen, if I may.
Put your hand down. You'll have an opportunity as soon as Mr. Parisi is done.
Mr. Allen, same basic thing, but shorter. Mr. Allen is a registered convicted sex offender. Mr. Allen already aced himself in the gutter. I don't need to proceed further. Mr. Allen, who is illegally using Facebook, according to Facebook standards, Facebook has a very specific policy and guidelines that you're not supposed to be friends with the mayor. You're not supposed to have 849 friends. You're not supposed to be playing around, putting on it. Your favorite game is Pokemon, which for me, as an individual that does this, I'm concerned that a registered sex offender is playing Pokemon, but that's neither here nor there. What it is I express these opinions, and I did these on other Facebook Live videos, the ones I can't show you, but I may have mentioned his name, but as you know, Your Honor, and I know, and they do know, but neglect to do it, Mr. Allen has no protections. He had a hearing that we were going to come before either yourself or the Honorable, David Forrest. There was no protections given because in reality, there hasn't been any type of merit for it. I've never met Mr. Allen. I've never talked to Mr. Allen. I've seen him once, which is actually in this courtroom. For him to go and say that I have walked by the Sentinel, or I have stood outside his house is pure and utter lies.
So you've never had any contact with him?
Never even seen him. The only reason I know what he looks like, Your Honor, is that I legally use the New Hampshire State Police Sex Offender Registrar. If I was doing something illegal with that sex offender registrar, I can promise this court knows that swift justice would come through me, through a state agency, if I was abusing the privilege that's given to the public. My main mission is this: individuals and offenders like Mr. Thomas Allen and other ones that have been before this court are upset because their crimes have now been made much more public than they were. That is what my mission is. I say it in the videos, the one I can't present to, and the ones that they said, I did say that. Did I call him a child rapist? I did. I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. But that saying that he's a child rapist is not saying I'm going to commit harm to him. I consider a girl or a boy under the age of 15, under the law, is a child that can't make the same decisions as an adult. And to take advantage of that infuriates me to no end and inspires me to make these First Amendment protected free speech on these videos. And as you saw, these videos, some of them are salacious in nature, some of them are not. But the purpose, some of them are dramatized, so dramatist, others are criticism and information. None of these go into rants of, I'm going to kill him, I'm waiting outside his house. And for Mr. Thomas to go into these exaggerated lies, and this is just wasting the court's time. So again, there's no merit to his petition, and I'd like to find this to be dismissed.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Scott?
Can I just address to the court that in Thomas Allen's original case, she was actually 16.
Relevance.
Her age changed 4 different times in the original document. Her story changed 3 different times because it was her friend's mother that recorded it to the police. Her mother did not. And actually, if we want to be honest, Mr. Allen is friends with her and an entire family, and I have met them.
But he's a sex offender, correct?
Correct, but I have met her and her entire family. They are friends.
All right, thanks.
I would like to say something as far as what Mr. Parisi said is how he's never seen me before. I want to say that is a lie. A few, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, or about 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, me and Miss Scott were walking down Main Street, and we happened to we were walking by the Colonial Theater, at which time was the first time we actually ran into Mr. Parisi, because he was chalking a picture, and we had also met, he also had his rabbit with him, and we had complimented his rabbit, saying how cute it was, and how nice the picture he was chalking was good. So I'd like to say that's a lie, that he has never met either one of us.
And he also stated that...
Did you know who? Did you know who he was, and he knew who you were?
Well, we stopped and talked to him for a few minutes.
Right, but did you say hi? My name
Yeah,
is
I said hi to him.
But did you tell him your name?
Yes, I had told him my name.
No.
And Miss Scott did not, but I did. And then later on, when all these videos started coming out, so I would just like to reiterate that yes, he has met me before.
Okay.
Your
Could be a
Honor,
lie, it could be a misunderstanding, it could be a,
Your Honor, will I be able to rebuttal? or-
yeah, last time.
Okay, yes, certainly. Okay, so straight off the bat, their dates of 15 and 16, I lived in Miami, Florida. I did not move here until December